Alright guys, and welcome back. It has been a while since I've actually released a video, partly because of the holiday season. Generally between Halloween and through New Year's, my job is chaotic and hectic. We open up to like 82 hours a week for overtime, and so I've been hitting the grind really hard. If you guys follow on the Facebook page or the recent Twitter page, which is now down here, you may have seen some of the pictures, some of the teaser videos that I've put out. That was just those. Here in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be rolling out a couple of videos. I have had a couple of failed attempts of a suicidal playthrough. I'm going to basically just buckle down and get through that. And that's going to be kind of a curb team. Volker's gave me an assignment of classes on what he wants, leaving the birth feats up to me. And one stipulation with that was no melee except for the Ranger class, which I think I figured out a way to work that around. So that'll be starting a video series for the suicidal playthrough. The dark side, we have the alpha release for that. A couple of us do. I have one of the only Android versions that Volker has released so far for testing. Enjoying that. I'm going to end up wiping my files for that, reinstalling them, and doing basically a clear video for that. A good sneak peek of how it's been built with the structure that is Dungeons of Chaos, some of the things that carry over with it, and basically the general theme for it. And then you probably just see me die a lot, which is always fun. But the main purpose of this video was there's a couple of people on the YouTube channel and even on Twitter now that has looked at some of my postings for my teams and thought, oh my God, like, I can't ever get to that point. Some of my stuff, like my level 10,000 Samurai that is above and beyond that, or when I had Markelin, was a level 13 plus thousand monk, and I turned priest, which is ridiculous. These are just some of the random experiments that I run with the team with these. But if you notice, I have other relatively low teams that I go through and I play. I roll teams just to see birth feats and statistics and what's going to be fun. And if you look at the playthrough team that I've used right here, I put them up to level 100 and I stopped. They have a couple of unused levels, but that's generally it. And I plan on using them for a lot of the walkthrough stuff of the how to defeat certain mobs and monsters. I'll be doing the dragons, the most recent ones, the diamonds and the gold dragon. I'll get those released. Because level 100, depending on how you level, and if you're going the dragon route, or if you're fighting the diamond and the gold dragons, level 100 is easily attainable. That's not like stratospheric. It's really hard to do. But also, level 100 was kind of, is my crux with that, is I took this team from the mid-level 40s that they were through the playthrough and leveled them up. And incrementally, every 5 levels, I made an attempt at that Diamond Dragon. And level 100, it was where I finally successfully, without losing a team member, beat that dragon. And so I went ahead and reloaded it, and that's where they're at here. And so I'll be going over that. Just like this team here, this one is another just default team that I'm taking through and fighting the dragons, because these are the guild classes, and then these are the standard teams. And so that's what those two are. This one over here, these are actually kind of interesting. This team I rolled for a melee only, and with some of the new birth feats, and that was about it. And here's another one of my huge samurais. Samurais and monks have a tendency to lean more towards solo play, especially if you want to solo grind and hit the huge levels. They have the speed boost, they have the evade, and the dex on top of that. And once you flip a monk to samurai, they can not only heal, but they have huge combat tactics and really good two-handed weapons, which makes them kind of a phenomenal overpowered class, even without the uber levels that you can reach by solo grinding. This team that I have here, this one's kind of like a little experiment. The monk, he is basically done nothing except for use the summon dragons. Here, I'll load this team up so you guys can look at it. This one's just kind of like a small little story plot that I put in my head, where you have this monk who is able to summon dragons. He has a bodyguard that has bloodlusts, that if anything gets past the archers, who are all anti-magic, and actually I rolled them a bit differently. Took body control, righteousness, dynamo, and anti-node, just to kind of have a splash, I remember. But basically, the archers stand in the front line and shoot everything. If anything gets past them, the rogue shadow shifts to them, backstabs them if they are flanked. And again, the monk just does nothing besides maybe heal once in a while and summon dragons. And it's been a fun playthrough. And they're still on the first island. If I take a look here, yeah, I have the angry tree. I still need to kill Xerxes, and I've trained the orb. So these guys are with just not only fighting the creatures on the island, but also dragons. The dragon blood has a tendency to summon dragons as an enemy, and so that's why these guys are about 1,600, is because they've not only been fighting spiders and specters and worms, but they've been fighting dragons also. And which is kind of interesting. And I have another team that has a whole bunch of just Dragon Bloods, Rangers, and that's all they do is they summon dragons. And that was purposely done so I can see how much they can level with just summoning their own monsters. Now you see these guys die pretty quickly because of these archers. And archers are another one that's kind of an underrated class that I like, because of their stat rotations. And they get not only dex, but they get strength, speed, accuracy, and I believe resistance on level up. And so they lend themselves to be pretty tough on higher levels. And this is the team that I was talking about with the dragons. This team I currently have in a position to where it locks up constantly, so I'm not going to do that one. But they have a bunch of unused levels also. But they're all about level 200. The monks, I went ahead and I leveled up a little bit faster. I leveled these guys up until I hit speed of 1,000. One of these guys will go samurai, the other one's going to go priest. And monks, I'm leaning more towards monks going to priest than clerics because of the speed bonus, and then clerics mainly sticking to the exorcist role. But that team, for some reason, whenever you fight Xerxes and you summon just every dragon you can, it locks up midway through. So I've kept that save file just kind of stationary for the time being. But back to the point is, when I do these high-level experiments, this is by no means a standard that normal players need to be able to reach. This is just me having a big what-if question and saying, hey, what happens when you level somebody past 1,000? What if you have a berserker that is immune to everything? Which I've just about demonstrated with this guy. His resistance is almost max for everything. And I believe if I switch his weapon out, he will be max. There's one that I have. But that's what I was looking at, is they rotate on a level up with strength and armor And resistance, in about level 200, 216, they max out on lightning, fire, cold, poisoning. And then with an anti-node burst feat, they max out on magic pretty easily. And then the only thing left to do is to get life drain resistance up. And so he is basically a big, slow, hammer-wielding tank, which is kind of fun. And this team has also got another experiment with the assassin. My assassin I have loaded up with life-stealing. He has bloodlust, but I was also seeing how high I can stack the life-stealing with him with items. And right now it's fairly low, but if I were to remove that boomerang, it jumps to 12. Or put the Death Star on him, and it goes to 15 still. Because there are a couple of items that have relatively high lifesteal that you can stack in decent armors. But that is what I do, is I look at things and have that what if question. What if I do this? What if I do this? What if I equip a mage to be able to go melee? What if we find a huge armor that a mage can wear, like the dark armor? And then I look at it and say, hey, I don't want to have this huge malice to evade and speed, so I'm going to double the strength and dex requirements. What level do I need to be able to do that? And I calculate it. That's going to be 56 strength and at least 30 dex, so we don't have a malice on it. So I'm going to need about a level 110 to have the stat points available just to sink completely into strength and dex. And then the rest goes into whatever skills I want. And this mage is a carry mage, so his speed is dismal. So everything else goes into dex. He is slower than a snail's fart, to be completely honest. But if a dragon jumps next to him, he doesn't die immediately. And this is what I do. I just experiment and play around with the character builds. And Dungeons of Chaos has lended itself to thousands of permutations of teams. Not only the classes that you have, but the birth feats, the rolling stats, how you want to stack them, how you want to do their skills. There is so much depth and a little bit of complexity if you're wanting to min-max characters to get them through. But it is phenomenal, and the replay value is phenomenal. If you notice, I almost have all my save games filled up. And this is not including the ones that I've played through, removed out, and kept in a different location. But you notice I still have, this is my very first team that I've played through. There are a couple things on this team that are broken, partly because they were rolled months ago prior to some of the fixes. And so I have just kind of left that team there to be like, I have officially went to 105 Geomancer, 102 Warrior. My cleric is level 66 priest, or my healer is level 66. Just those things. And this was prior to doing solo stuff, where we would kill off players and solo grind. That was a team effort, and that was my first team through. If I load this up and do the final battle again, there's probably 200 plus deaths on it. But that's what, if you keep with the same team, this is what you would look like. These several thousands, these are thought experiments that I play with to test and see what breaks the game, what balancing might have to happen at those points. And by no means will Walker ever look at my level 10,000 plus samurai and be like, I need to nerf samurai, because hardly anybody's going to get to that level. And those who do might as well reap the reward, because this team has been played since before September. And some of the gear on it is just things that have been found and gotten and bought But again, by no means is that a gold standard for where the team should be or what you should look like. And like this team, one tank, and then several druids that I'm going to do with just their spells. And this is going to be a normal playthrough team. This is what I find fun is I love druids. They're versatile, they can combat, they can mid-range, they can cast just about anything in the game, but they're fun and they're versatile. And so I like playing full teams of clerics. And this has kind of been a joy here with these guys going through. And you notice they're only level 3. I just leveled up going to the tower. But this is what happens, is whatever is fun for you guys and is enjoyable and keeps Dungeons of Chaos fresh and entertaining for you, go for that. But by no means look at my uber-powered teams and be like, I don't have that. Because then that detracts from your replay value and your fun factor for the game. And I don't want that. I post some things, like some items that I find because, hey, look at this. It has, of angels, and it's 4,000 or 400 to undead for a bow. I find that fantastic. Or like I found a cane of Thor that had a whole bunch of lightning damage. Something I've never seen before. And that's what I like. I like collecting items and skins. Not just seeing what goes wrong with the game, which is another purpose. But I do this because I enjoy Dungeons of Chaos. I want you guys to enjoy Dungeons of Chaos. But I want you guys to, play within your realm of fun. But I do want to thank you guys for joining me today. I'm going to go ahead and stop rambling about the teams. But again, we're going to start the videos for the dark side. If you haven't already, follow Dungeons of Chaos on Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter account, go ahead and make it. We have our new achievements to unlock. I will, with the suicide video, be going over this. And probably going back through this so at least it's documented on videos for people who need it. But a lot of these things are fairly easy to get. I'll show where all the species are because there's still a couple I don't have. Again, there are things in this game that I have not done. And a lot of people have not done. And I want you guys to go out and do things. And it's fantastic. So look forward to the suicide videos. Look forward to the sneak previews for the dark side. Again, join us on Twitter just for some random tweets back and forth and posting not only videos but some screenshots and some inside jokes. If you haven't already, go ahead and if you're just starting out, go through the playthrough videos. If you're stuck on something, post it on Facebook, tweet us. I'll either send you a video link that answers your question, or Volker or one of us on Facebook will get that question answered as soon as possible, as soon as we know about it. Again, use your resources. The WordPress blog has the wikis for the classes and birth feats. Have fun and enjoy the Dungeons Chaos universe. Thank you.